If you're a man over 60, what I'm about to reveal could mean the difference between peaceful nights and years of struggle with your prostate. Many men think frequent bathroom trips, a weak urine stream, or restless sleep are just part of getting older. But the truth is more alarming. Everyday habits may be quietly damaging your prostate and making those problems worse. I'm Dr. Katherine Rocker, and after 30 years of medical practice, I've seen both sides of the story. Some men arrive at my clinic in crisis, unable to empty their bladder, exhausted from constant interruptions at night, or frightened by sudden urinary retention. In many cases, they've ignored warning signs for years, assuming it was all inevitable. But I've also met men in their 80s who live without discomfort, sleep soundly, and rarely even think about their prostate. The difference between them isn't luck, it's awareness and the choices they made each day. In this video, I'll walk you through the 10 hidden habits that silently enlarge the prostate. And I can guarantee the number one habit is so common that most men are doing it without realizing the damage. Prostate problems rarely crash into your life all at once. They creep in quietly. At first, it's just one extra trip to the bathroom at night, then it becomes two, then three. Soon you're losing sleep, feeling drained during the day, and avoiding long car rides or outings because you're always searching for the nearest restroom. This gradual decline is why so many men delay taking action. They tell themselves, "It's just age, I can live with it." But what begins as mild inconvenience can escalate into something far more serious. An enlarged prostate can eventually block urine flow completely, a painful emergency that often lands men in the hospital needing catheters. It can trigger recurring urinary tract infections, bladder stones, and in some cases even permanent kidney damage. I've seen too many men wait until their situation becomes unbearable. By then, the solutions are limited and often invasive. The tragedy is that much of this suffering could have been prevented with small adjustments made years earlier. That's why identifying the hidden habits that fuel prostate growth is so critical. If you understand what's silently aggravating your prostate, you can change course before the damage is done. And the first habit on our list is one you may be guilty of right now. Habit 10. Drinking too little water. Many men over 60 make the same mistake. Cutting back on water, thinking it will reduce nighttime bathroom trips. On the surface, that seems logical, but inside your body, the opposite is happening. When you don't drink enough, your urine becomes concentrated and acidic. This irritates both the bladder and the prostate, which sits directly beneath it. Over time, that irritation creates inflammation, and chronic inflammation is one of the main triggers for prostate enlargement. There's more. A dehydrated body struggles to flush out toxins. Those waste products linger in your system, putting extra stress on the urinary tract and fueling further inflammation. Many medications prescribed at this age, especially for blood pressure, also dry out the body, compounding the problem. It's like running an engine without enough oil. Eventually, the parts wear down faster. I've seen men who proudly limit water only to complain of burning, urgency, or constant discomfort. Once they improve hydration, their symptoms often ease within weeks. The solution isn't chugging large amounts of water all at once. It's consistency. Sip throughout the day so your urine stays clear or pale yellow. That's the best indicator of good hydration. Don't fear water, it's one of your most powerful natural allies against prostate problems. Habit 9. Sitting for hours. After 60, the armchair or office chair can feel like a safe haven, but hours of sitting do far more harm to your prostate than most men realize. The problem isn't just inactivity, it's the constant pressure on the pelvic region. When you remain seated too long, blood flow to the prostate slows. Reduced circulation means less oxygen, fewer nutrients, and a buildup of inflammatory compounds. Over time, this creates swelling and contributes to prostate growth. Think of it like pinching a garden hose. The flow is blocked and the pressure builds behind it. Sedentary habits also weaken the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles are crucial for controlling urination and helping the bladder empty fully. A weak pelvic floor leaves behind stagnant urine, which irritates the prostate and increases the risk of infections. It's a silent chain reaction. Sit too long, circulation slows, muscles weaken, urine lingers, prostate suffers. The fix doesn't require a gym membership. Simply stand up every 30 minutes and move for 2 minutes. Walk to the kitchen, stretch, or take a lap around the house. These small breaks keep blood circulating and relieve pressure on the prostate. Remember, rest is important, but immobility is dangerous. By breaking up long sitting sessions, you protect not only your heart and joints, but also your prostate's long-term health. Habit 8. Excess caffeine. For many men, that morning cup of coffee feels sacred, but too much caffeine can quietly turn into an enemy of your prostate. Caffeine is a natural diuretic, which means it pushes your body to produce more urine. At first, this might not seem harmful, but for an already sensitive prostate, it can create a cascade of problems. Here's why. Extra urine production forces the bladder to work overtime, contracting more often. Caffeine also tightens the muscles at the bladder neck, making it harder to release urine fully. The result? More urgency, more trips to the bathroom, and leftover urine that puts constant pressure on the prostate. Over time, this cycle stirs up inflammation and discomfort. I've treated countless men who swore they couldn't function without 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. Once they cut back to a single morning cup or swapped an afternoon coffee for decaf or herbal tea, their nighttime trips to the bathroom often dropped dramatically. Sometimes it takes just one simple change to feel relief. I'm not asking you to give up coffee completely. Enjoying 1 cup in the morning usually doesn't cause harm. The key is moderation. Listen to your body. If your urinary symptoms flare on heavy caffeine days, that's your signal. By cutting back, you give your prostate a chance to rest. Habit 7. Overly spicy and processed foods. Flavorful meals are one of life's pleasures, but when it comes to prostate health, certain foods can be quietly fueling inflammation. The first culprits are overly spicy dishes. Extra black pepper, hot sauces, and chili peppers irritate the urinary tract. And for a prostate that's already sensitive, this irritation can tip the balance toward swelling and discomfort. A spicy meal once in a while won't cause lasting harm, but a daily habit keeps your body in a state of low-level inflammation. Even more concerning are processed foods, packaged snacks, cold cuts, frozen dinners, and fast food. These products are loaded with preservatives, excess sodium, and unhealthy fats. High salt levels cause the body to retain fluid, which increases pressure on the bladder and prostate. Trans fats and additives disrupt hormones, especially testosterone, which directly influences prostate size. Over years, these hidden toxins silently inflame the gland. I've seen men who replaced even half of their processed meals with fresh ingredients, grilled fish, vegetables, nuts, and fruits, and within months their urinary symptoms noticeably eased. Their energy improved too, because the same foods that irritate the prostate often drag down overall health. The solution isn't bland food, it's balance. Enjoy spices in moderation, but build your meals around anti-inflammatory whole foods. Think of your plate as daily medicine. The healthier your diet, the calmer and healthier your prostate will be. Habit 6. Holding in urine. We've all done it, waiting to find a bathroom because we're busy, stuck in traffic, or don't want to interrupt what we're doing. But regularly holding in urine is one of the most damaging habits for your prostate. Here's why. The bladder sits just above the prostate. When you delay urination, the bladder stretches like an overfilled balloon, pressing down on the prostate beneath it. Over time, that constant pressure irritates the gland and fuels swelling. Older men are especially vulnerable because the muscles controlling the bladder and prostate naturally weaken with age. There's another hidden risk. Holding urine increases the chance you won't empty completely when you finally go. That leftover urine becomes stagnant, a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and inflammation. Infections caused this way don't just irritate the bladder, they inflame the prostate as well, speeding up enlargement. I've had patients who thought skipping bathroom breaks was harmless until they developed painful infections or sudden urinary retention. The fix is simple but vital. Listen to your body. When you feel the urge, don't delay. Treat that signal as a priority, not an inconvenience. Your bladder and prostate work as a team. Stress one and the other pays the price. Protect them both by respecting your body's natural rhythm. Habit 5. Smoking or being around smokers. Cigarettes don't just damage the lungs and heart, they are one of the most toxic enemies of your prostate. Even if you've never smoked, regular exposure to secondhand smoke carries similar risks. The chemicals in tobacco restrict blood flow, which means your prostate receives less oxygen and fewer nutrients to repair itself. Smoking also ramps up oxidative stress, the buildup of unstable molecules that damage cells and trigger inflammation. For the prostate, this constant stress leads to swelling, enlargement, and in the long term, even raises the risk of cancer. Over the years, I've treated men who believed smoking only affected their breathing. What they didn't realize was how much their prostate health was tied to circulation. Once they quit, improvements came quickly. Within weeks, blood flow improved, inflammation decreased, and urinary symptoms began to ease. The danger doesn't vanish if you sit near others who smoke. Secondhand exposure still delivers harmful toxins into your bloodstream, silently stressing your prostate. For men over 60, the body's natural defenses are already weaker, making this damage accumulate even faster. If you smoke, there are more resources than ever to help you quit. Nicotine replacements, support groups, even natural therapies. If you don't smoke, avoid smoky environments altogether. Protecting your prostate begins with protecting your bloodstream. Habit 4. Avoiding doctor visits. Many men treat the doctor's office like a last resort, something to face only when pain or urgency becomes unbearable. But when it comes to the prostate, waiting too long is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make. Prostate enlargement is often silent in the early stages. You may not feel pain, yet changes are happening inside your body. By the time symptoms become obvious, the gland may already be significantly enlarged, leaving you with fewer and more invasive treatment options. Routine checkups allow problems to be caught early, when lifestyle changes or simple therapies can make a dramatic difference. Quick, non-invasive exams like the PSA blood test or the digital rectal exam can reveal inflammation, infection, or growth long before you notice symptoms yourself. These few minutes at the clinic can save you years of suffering. I've met too many men who delayed appointments because they felt embarrassed discussing urinary issues. By the time they came in, their bladder was under severe strain, or they were facing procedures that could have been avoided. On the other hand, men who keep up with annual prostate evaluations often enjoy peace of mind and the chance to make small adjustments before things spiral. Don't wait until you're desperate. Regular checkups are one of the smartest habits any man over 60 can adopt. Prevention is always easier and far less painful than repair. Habit 3. Eating red meat excessively. For many men, a plate of steak or barbecue feels like tradition. But when red meat, especially processed forms like bacon, sausage, or cold cuts, becomes a daily staple, it can quietly inflame and enlarge the prostate. Here's the science. Red meat is high in saturated fats, which trigger inflammation throughout the body. Processed meats add chemicals like nitrates and preservatives that further stress your system. Together, these factors disrupt hormones, particularly testosterone, which plays a central role in prostate health. Add oxidative stress, the cellular rusting effect, and you've got a recipe for accelerated prostate growth. Digestion also slows with age. Heavy meats sit longer in the system, leading to weight gain and increased pressure on the bladder and pelvic region. That pressure alone irritates the prostate even before the chemical impact is factored in. I've had patients who believed cutting meat meant giving up flavor, yet once they replaced half their red meat meals with lighter proteins, grilled chicken, fish, lentils, or beans, the difference was striking. Within months, many reported easier urination, fewer nighttime interruptions, and better overall energy. You don't need to give up red meat completely. Think moderation. Limit it to once or twice a week and choose lean cuts when you do indulge. The rest of the time, let plant proteins, fish, and poultry support your prostate rather than strain it. Your body and your nights of uninterrupted sleep will thank you. Habit 2. Carrying excess belly fat. That extra weight around the waist isn't just about appearance, it's one of the clearest warning signs for prostate trouble. Belly fat is metabolically active, which means it doesn't just sit there. It releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream every single day. Those chemicals circulate throughout the body, irritating tissues, including the prostate. Abdominal fat also disrupts hormonal balance. Testosterone tends to drop, while estrogen levels creep higher. That imbalance directly fuels prostate enlargement. On top of that, the physical bulk of belly fat presses on the bladder and pelvic organs, increasing pressure and making urinary symptoms worse. I've seen men who carried large waistlines struggle not only with prostate problems, but also with frequent nighttime urination and erectile difficulties. When they lost just a few kilos, nothing extreme, the improvement was often dramatic. Their symptoms eased, their energy returned, and their confidence grew. The solution isn't a crash diet, it's slow, steady progress. Smaller portions, fewer sugary foods, daily walking. Even modest weight loss of 5 to 10 pounds can reduce pelvic pressure and calm prostate inflammation. Aim for a waistline under 100 centimeters, about 40 inches. It's a simple, measurable target that pays huge dividends for your prostate health, your heart, and your overall vitality. Every inch you lose around the middle is a step toward protecting your prostate for the long run. Habit 1. Not managing chronic stress. Out of all the hidden habits that damage the prostate, unmanaged stress may be the most dangerous and the most overlooked. Unlike smoking or diet, stress doesn't leave a wrapper or a smell. It builds silently inside your body, day after day. When you live under constant tension, financial worries, family responsibilities, health concerns, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, high cortisol levels inflame tissues, weaken immunity, and disrupt hormone balance. For the prostate, that means swelling, pain, and accelerated growth. Stress also tightens the muscles of the pelvic floor. This restricts blood flow to the prostate and bladder, increasing irritation. Some men notice that their urinary symptoms, urgency, frequency, incomplete emptying, get worse during stressful weeks. That's no coincidence. The mind and body are inseparably linked. I've seen men spend years chasing treatments while ignoring the stress that was fueling their problems. Once they started managing it, through simple routines like daily breathing exercises, stretching, light walks, or even 10 minutes of quiet before bed, the results were remarkable. Their urinary symptoms calmed, their sleep improved, and their overall health rebounded. Managing stress isn't just about feeling relaxed. It's about protecting your organs from a constant internal fire. Laughter, social connections, hobbies, and quality sleep are as therapeutic as any pill when it comes to prostate health. If there's one habit to change today, let it be this. Create space to release your stress. Your mind will feel lighter, and your prostate will thank you in ways you may not expect. You've just heard the 10 hidden habits that silently fuel prostate enlargement. Not drinking enough water, sitting for hours, excess caffeine, too many spicy and processed foods, holding in urine, smoking, skipping doctor visits, eating too much red meat, carrying excess belly fat, and letting stress run unchecked. Each of these may seem small on its own, but together they create the perfect storm of inflammation and pressure that wears down your prostate year after year. But here's the truth I want you to take away. None of this is inevitable. Your prostate doesn't have to dictate your life. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s enjoy peaceful nights, strong streams, and freedom from constant bathroom trips simply because they took charge of these daily choices. Start small. Maybe today you pour one extra glass of water, take a 2-minute walk after sitting, or choose grilled fish instead of processed meat. Next week, maybe you cut back 1 cup of coffee or try 5 minutes of deep breathing before bed. Each small step compounds into meaningful change. Remember, every action matters. You don't need perfection, you just need consistency. With the right habits, your body has an incredible ability to heal and protect itself, even later in life. So ask yourself, which habit will you change first? Leave a comment below, share this video with a friend who needs it, and subscribe for more science based guidance on protecting your health after 60. Your prostate is not your enemy, it's part of you. Treat it well, and it will serve you faithfully for years to come.